you have a model called Work, W.O.R.K, um, and that you use it with leaders and organizations. And can you talk about that model? And is there a way that your model can apply to somebody who's in work transition?
Mm. Yeah, so this is a model that I think really builds on the Cahill Gibran idea of what if our work is part of our becoming. And so it's an acronym. The first letter W stands for wake up. So wake up and wonder. And when I think about that waking up, I think about there's a quote that C.S. Lewis has, and so I'll say it with the word he used, which is God. But if that word is uncomfortable for people, I would say, use of universal intelligence, our higher self, but that our higher self whispers to us in our dreams, speaks to us in our conscious, and screams at us in our pain. It is our gong to a deaf world. And so I think that idea of waking up to the things that feel painful and not stuffing them anymore, and waking up and to acknowledge that our life force is worth not being at work that causes pain to our soul. That, as one person said to me, I just go dead inside and power through. The
Mm.
cost to us so just like waking up to what's really going on. And yes, sometimes we may still need that job and that paycheck, but to start to orient, which is the second one, orient from the inside out, to say, I'm going to orient from who I am and who I want to become in the way I show up every day. And even inside the job search, which we've talked about a lot, or other things, we can orient from our values. And when you combine that with the R, which is reimagine partnering, I'll give a really specific thing that I think can make a huge difference in a time of job search or transition, which is an example of reimagining partnering. So sometimes when we're a job search, we think we need to spend all of our time hunting for that job, filling out applications, doing all those things. But what if nature's model of reciprocity actually has more to do with finding a job than even filling out job applications? So, for example, in reciprocity, we give from our overflow. So, if you think about the particular skills that you or anybody listening to this podcast has, there are places that we can contribute those skills and gifts in a model of partnership to people in need. For me,
Mm.
when I was starting my own business, I could see there was an opportunity to contribute to kids with low socioeconomic, challenge backgrounds around how to be a leader in high school and as they were navigating early adulthood. And so I gave my time in service to those places. What I didn't know would happen in imagining those kinds of partnerships is I would be filled with that sense of purpose and value and could bring that energy back to the jobs and looking for clients. And serendipitously, I also found the very first client in my own business. Could never have imagined that. But I think this imagining places of partnering, imagining places that we can orient to our gifts and then share them with the world, it makes us feel more of who we truly are for when we show up for the jobs. And we can't imagine, in the same way that the acorn cannot imagine the forest it can become, all the life that's possible. So that's the reimagine partnering. The K is to keep nourishing what matters most, which I think we've talked a lot about. It's about having that herd that believes in us. It's about taking care of who I am so that I can be the person that I want to be in whatever scenario I show